Coming up this week in Movie Buff, we get hot under the racing collar with Christina Ricci and Emile Hirsh, and all romantic, kind of, in Vegas with Ashton Kutcher and Cameron Diaz. Oh, and by the way, does anyone know where in the world Osama bin Laden is?
Good-looking Hollywood A-listers Ashton Kutcher and Cameron Diaz provide not just all the eye candy one big screen can handle, but all the laughs you need for a good tummy workout too, in their new romantic comedy, What Happens in Vegas. So to the plot. Well, do you remember when Britney Spears went on a bender in Vegas and, oops, wed her best mate Jason Alexander? Well, it's sort of like that. Only Joy and Jack don't know each other at all before their wild night on the tiles that ends up with them at the altar. And rather than being allowed a quickie divorce like Brit, things are a bit more complicated.
You know what? I'll call you about the annulment.
Why don't you just email me?
We'll always have Vegas.
That was my quarter.
I put the quarter in the slot.
What's mine is yours, baby. Remember?
Marriage is about commitment. I am freezing the $3 million and sentencing you to 6 months hard marriage.
Objection.
Yeah, they're forced to stay together and try and make their marriage work. Tricky. Luckily, they both have their best mates for support, though. In Ashton's case, his partner in crime is played by Rob Corddry. In real life, the actors have experienced Vegas firsthand, and they get why crazy things sometimes go on there.
They pump oxygen in there, so you don't really know what time it is ever.
And it's hard to get out of those casinos, too. They
build them in a way where you
build them so
can't
that you
figure out where you
lost.
can't find the door to leave. So you have to stay and spend all of your money and get married.
So, did the stars get to kick back and enjoy some fun Vegas-style in between filming?
We didn't really get to go play that much.
Yeah. We went go-kart racing once.
We did go go-kart
That was
racing.
nuts.
Yeah, and then we went to the batting cage.
Nuts.
All those little rebels. Well then, to find out how things work out for Joy and Jack after their Vegas fling, you can probably guess. But anyway, sit back and be entertained by what happens in Vegas.
Hurtling down the track, careering around a bend at full throttle and leaving the competition for dust. Speed Racer, and yes, that's his name, is a natural behind the wheel. Unfortunately, Speed, aka Emile Hirsh, only has one goal in life, and that's to win the Crucible, a cross-country car rally that happened to take the life of his older brother, Rex Racer.
Feel that shimmy? It's your hind legs trying to outrun your front.
What do I do?
Stop steering and start driving. This ain't no dead piece of metal. The car's a living, breathing thing, and she's alive.
Deadly races aside though, there's one thing that all drivers have in common, and that's their leathers. And pulling on all that gear proved a little too much at times for Emile.
You know, the leather suit sometimes did get hot, but when I was in the car I would take the leather pants off and just be in a pair of shorts and stuff because you couldn't see.
With the support of his family and his loyal girlfriend Trixie, better known to us as Christina Ricci, our hero sets out to win the race and speed home to victory. And playing the love interest to Emile can't be a hard job. After all, he's been named one of the top 10 bachelors about.
Who says? I'm not disputing, I'm just curious. Is he even marriageable? Is he even like the proper, isn't it past 30? That's like the marriageable age?
Okay, Christina, well, let's get past the whole eligible bachelor thing then, and just tell us what it's like to work with him.
He's a lovely, lovely kid.
So now we've got that straight, let's leave the final word to the mum of the film, Susan Sarandon, who's also got a bone to pick, after movie bosses refused to turn her character into an action figure doll.
I'm so bummed, I really don't want to talk about it. I don't think I do. I know, and I said yesterday, I think there'd be somebody that want to dress and undress Mom, and then that didn't sound right either. So maybe that's why I don't have an action figure, I don't know.
But gripes from the cast aside, this is one film that's bound to race straight to the top of the box office.
Yoo-hoo! Osama!
4 years after he ate nothing but McDonald's for 30 days, Morgan Spurlock is back. Where in the World is Osama bin Laden is the follow-up to his hit documentary Super Size Me. Inspired by the birth of his first child, Spurlock's on a one-man mission to make the world a safer place and find the man behind 9/11. But can one filmmaker achieve what President Bush could not?
We don't know whether he's in a cave with the door shut I was wondering if we could ask you a question.
No.
Arcade with the door open. I live in New York City, and like most New Yorkers, we want to know the answer to that question. Why haven't we found Osama bin Laden? Where is he? So it's 2005, and Bush had just been re-elected. Osama had just released a new tape, and suddenly he was everywhere, on every news channel. And the newscasters were like, why haven't we caught him? Why haven't we brought him to justice? Where in the world's Osama bin Laden? And I was like, that's a great question. I want to know that too. So that was kind of the jumping off point for the movie.
Searching for the world's most wanted man was always going to be dangerous. In the film, Spurlock's shown going through an urban self-defense class before setting off around the world, visiting Greece, Egypt, Morocco and Saudi Arabia. But can a film about hunting the head of Al-Qaeda really be funny?
I got a tip on where to find his uncle, Mahfouz Osama.
You wouldn't turn him in for the $25 million? And Lily Tomlin, who's a great comedian and actress, said something years ago. She said, we have to find humor in everything, because when you find humor, you find humanity. And in this movie, there's a tremendous amount of humanity.
The film's received mixed reviews from the critics, but if you're a fan of Super Size Me, you'll love Where in the World is Osama bin Laden?
To find Osama bin Laden.